Hi lovelies, I'm back with another video. Hope you guys are doing amazing in mind, body, and spirit. I'm here to bring a new message, and I'm hoping that it reaches everyone who needs to hear it at this given time. So it's going to be about how we all have different ways of coping with our stress, with our the way we grieve, the way we deal with just everyday stress. I don't know what other way to say it, right? Is obviously there's many ways, right? There's a list that goes on and on for the negative way of dealing with stress, right? And then there's a way that's healthier and beneficial to ourselves, right? But I'm going to share what I did, even if it's good or bad. I'm going to share it with you, but also be able to provide different ideas that you may want to try, consider, think about when you are experiencing this, right? So for me, it was to sleep. That was my mechanism of, like, if I was stressed out, or, and I say this, okay, every now and again, when I don't want to think or feel, right, I just sleep it off, because sometimes my dream world, okay, is way better than my reality. That's what I used to say before when I was a teen, okay? I would have very vivid dreams. But now, yeah, I may have more stress, right? But I don't dream as much. So it's important to have an outlet. I know I've said this before, but it's really important to have an outlet. But I'm gonna share, like, what it was that kind of caused me to be down and out, basically, back when I was a teen. So the fact that it was heartache, right? Because I was in a relationship with someone that was 5 years older than me, right? Mind you, I was still a minor. Shh, it happened in the past, it's fine, whatever, okay? So because of that age gap, right? From, I think I was 15 and he was 20. And my mom absolutely disagreed and was like, you need to cut that off because it's not okay. I'm not accepting it. You better figure it out. Porque a mí no me está gustando nada, right? Because in her Latino mom mind, she's thinking, oh, este nomás quiere abusar de ella. Quiere, you know, what was that phrase? There was a novela donde, oh no, that's for your period, chingado. I'm like mixing ideas. So I might as well explain the period one as a side note, just so you're aware of it, since I brought up the novela. So había una novela, Niña Amada Mía, I think my mom said it was called, donde la hija solo vivía con el papá, right? Pero en el momento de que empezó su regla, so once she started her period or whatever, because she was living with a single dad, right? The daughter, she didn't know how to tell him. That's very weird and, like, you know. So they made like a code within them of, like, when it does happen, you could just say that you're a little tree now. So basically, kind of, what is it? A metaphor, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, help me. So decía que ya soy un arbolito, right? I think that was the phrase. Ya ves que a mí se me olvida. I'll only remember part of the actual thing. But anyway, so that was the whole period thing. Side note, end of side note. So back on track with dang, ahora hasta se me olvidó, no te digo pues. But the point is that she didn't want me being with this older gentleman, and she was like, you need to end that relationship or I'm done. Like, I'm gonna disown you. Like, she was full blown, like, not having it, right? So I was like destroyed because I was in love with that man, right? And I didn't know what to do because I obviously didn't want to lose my mom either, the relationship I had with her. And this woman was serious, let me tell you. She went days and days with not speaking to me. Mind you, we lived in a home together, just her and I. So to be crossing paths, not saying a word, is hella painful. What the hell? Right? Mind you, it felt like months. But it could have been like for a week or something. But she was like, yeah, no. I'm not gonna be part of that, so you better figure it out, right? So I was like, man. So long story short, I ended it with the guy because I was like, I can't afford to lose my mom. Like, she's obviously more important. And he respected it, okay? He respected it and was like, I get it. And you do what you have to do. But the point is that I was heartbroken. I was destroyed, right? But I also had lost my mom's trust. So she was like very short with me even after the fact, right? So I would sleep. I would be like, no, I don't want to think or feel. I don't want to think or feel, right? Pero gracias a Dios, right? And the way that she's raised me, that I never did turn to substances, alcohol, any of that. Because you know how when we're teens, we would whole ass just be rebels. Like, oh, they're already saying we're doing this. Oh, okay. We might as well because they're already assuming we're doing this, right? And this refers back to my mom thinking that I was already sexually active when I wasn't at 15. Okay, I was not. I waited till I was 19. Can you hear me? 19 years old. But she had already called me every single name in the book. Okay? And this is what's created the tough skin within myself. And that's why I tell you guys that it's important. It's very, extremely important to have tough skin in this day and age, because society is so cutthroat. They're evil. It's tough out here, right? Because everybody has an opinion, but you're posting things, so they're gonna have an opinion that you're opening that door of, like, you know. We never really welcome those kind of negative remarks, but they come with the territory, right? So anyway, back to the case of, like, that was the way I would cope, right? And I feel like I still do that now, but I've learned that it's important to keep your mind busy on other things. Because when we sit there and think about why we're in pain, or focus on things we can no longer change or have control over, we are driving ourselves crazy within those four walls. Remember, I talked about those too, right? So I wouldn't want you guys to suffer in silence. I bring that up a lot too. I wouldn't want you guys to numb the pain, because it's important for you to face these things head on. You should start calling it something. Maybe the rhino effect. And this is me just making things up in my own mind. If you're here with me, you'll know, you'll be in on it. I tend to do that because I love being able to, I don't want to say label something, but to have codes for things, like when they reoccur, like reoccurring habits. I don't want to have to be like, oh, you did this again. Nah, we could just call it something, and it's more playful and not so heavy, to where we both know what we're talking about and we're both acknowledging that specific act or whatever it may be, right? So yes, the rhino effect. All right, so if you're watching this video right here right now, you are real ones, because from this point forward you're gonna know when I bring up rhino, talking about this video. So the rhino effect is basically like when we have to face things head on, not tiptoe around it, not numb it out because we don't want to deal. No. Mind you though, there are times where we aren't ready, and that is perfectly okay. But then you're like, well, then how the hell do we know when we're ready, right? Very good question. When you are ready is when you feel strength. You find the strength within yourself to become ready to face this event, issue, emotion head on. Now, if you still feel like you kind of need some more time to heal, and gather that strength, okay, that's perfectly normal. But give yourself time, pero tampoco don't push it off too long, because then now you're carrying it. And something that is important to bring up right now about carrying things, there was a video I once saw where an instructor, it's probably a professor was asking a class about a glass of water, right? He was like, how much do you guys think this weighs? And different students said different amounts. And he was like basically stating, if you put it down, you're releasing yourself of that weight of the glass, right? But the longer you carry it, the heavier it's gonna get, because you're gonna be tired of carrying it all day. So it's important to put it down. So that is signifying the rhino effect. That's gonna look like a unicorn, huh? Excuse me. Unicorn, rhino. Help me decide in the comments. Should we call it rhino effect or unicorn effect? But unicorn is such a big word. Rhino. Anyways, so that's another thing you could keep in mind, that it's not fair to you to have to hold on to an event, to an emotion, to something for so long, because then you're burdening yourself, right? So just find the strength within yourself so that you can face this and move past it. And that's basically what I wanted to bring up, is me expressing and being open and honest about, a time in my life where I too was dealing with stress and, being sad about something that I couldn't change at the time, right? Because I had to decide. So because I felt so helpless, hopeless, just overall sad, right? I would just sleep. Probably what it looks like I should be doing right now too. But I had to make sure to make this video today, because I gotta stay consistent for you guys. So we have to find an outlet. And one of the best ways is to share with someone you trust, somebody you trust, so that you don't have to carry it in your mind and be contemplating it, right? And another thing my brother, actually, one of my brothers taught me was that when we go through that cycle of like thinking about something and what we don't like about it and what we could change, like, just, right, it's a really bad cycle to be experiencing over and over, right, in your mind. He taught me to tell myself, it's done. The event happened. The way you feel about it is, and you can't change it. It already happened, you know? So when you find yourself in a situation where you're upset, beating yourself up because this should have went that way and that should have went this way, tell yourself, it's done. It's done. So you don't deserve to keep beating yourself up about an event that already took place. It's in the past. You have to move past it. So you need to be shifting focus on, what can I do to prevent that from happening again? And in its entirety. So not just the event itself, but to put yourself through that again. Emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. Okay? It's all extremely important. So try to train your mind that way, of saying, it's done. Right? It's done. That's it. Don't keep allowing the thought to linger, and you're self-torturing in a sense. You're mentally draining and emotionally draining yourself because you keep thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about, and it could be, when I say about it, it could be a person, right? It could be an event that happened, whether it be something you did or someone did to you. It could be just, you name it. You don't deserve to keep emotionally draining yourself day in and day out. You have to find it in yourself the strength to say, you know what? I have to let this go. There's no need for me to carry this anymore. Find the love within yourself to do better for you. And it could be a simple act as that, as when it hits your mind and you know you're about to enter that cycle, tell yourself, it's done. It's done, and shift focus on, how can I prevent that from happening? Or, and this, I wanted it to be a different video, so you gotta stay tuned for it, when I dive in on forgiveness and how important it is for you, for me, right? So for self more than anything, right? Because I know it's hard for a lot of people to forgive because it doesn't come natural, right? And so that's something that we have to train our mind to do too. Because if you're somebody that's used to just holding grudges, you're like, no, forget them, they did me wrong, you know, you deserve better from yourself. But yeah, so stay tuned for me talking on that as well, of forgiveness, because that's a really big thing that also burdens people when they aren't able to forgive. So hopefully you get a little piece of something from this video that helps you in the future. And if you have any questions for me or anything you would want to let me know about, I will make sure to add my email and all of my social media, so you guys can reach out to me anonymously if you'd like when you email me, or on IG, whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm gonna add it in the description below to make sure you guys are able to reach out. Okay, so I hope this video finds you guys in good health, mentally, emotionally, okay, and physically. Because I know people been getting sick a lot. It's been tough out here. Stay safe. It's these winds. I can't stand the wind. I don't know about you. But the wind kicks my butt because allergies. It's all in here. Just. But yes, cuídense mucho. And again, if you guys want me to make these videos in both Spanish and English, let me know. Si ustedes prefieren que yo les traduzca lo que estoy hablando en inglés de estos videos, ahí me avisan para empezar a hacer eso también, al igual de traducirlo para que ustedes entiendan lo que estoy explicando en inglés. Y voy a tratar lo mejor que pueda para traducirlo, para poder ayudarles también. So I shall see you guys real soon. Talk to you later. Hope you enjoy this video whenever you decide to watch this, day or night. And please make sure to like and subscribe and share for me one time. I would truly appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.